How are you guys? This is JP Sarri once again coming to you with another review. This time I have something very special that I have been waiting since last year, since it was hinted. This is the Mighty Thor Strike Down version by Bowen Designs. This was it's sculpted by Randy Bowen, and this is a piece that I was really looking forward to. It is a great piece, has a lot of great elements, but also has some little flaws that I will explain in this video. But besides the little flaws, I think this is a great representation of the character. Very vivid, very lively. It's an action pose, and I think this is going to be a wonderful piece in the years to come. It is a wonderful addition to any collection. So looking at this picture, looking at this, it is a very wonderful piece. But before I go into the normal review, let me just go to the box like I always do. This is a very, I would say, nice box. The Mighty Thor. Right here you can see the Strike Down version. Is actually very small. I was thinking that it would be a much larger box, but I'm happy that actually Bowen designs those boxes in a practical ways. The classical, type of box, with all the engravings and names on the side from Bowen. But I like that, it says sculpted by Randy Bowen, Strike Down version, 15 inches tall overall. It's strictly limited. It's ready to display. Well, not really ready to display because you have to put it into. It comes like a jigsaw. It has a lot of parts that you have to put together. But as you can see right there, it's the Mighty Thor. And right here, let's see what number this one is. This is number 630 out of 1500. So actually, this is more limited than the action version with the spinning hammer. I think this is a lot smaller, so smaller. Edition size. Well, now coming into the statue, there's a lot of great detailing here. As you can see right now, he's in this pose. He's striking his Mjolnir, his hammer into the ground. And I really like it. It's very vivid. The image, paint application is great. It's one of at Bowen, they always produce great paint applications. For that part, you really don't have to worry as much. The base, plays a good part within the story. It is big. I was thinking that this will be small, but as soon as I came and I opened it and I look at it, actually it's in a good size. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna have some comparisons so you can look at other statues and you can see how well it compares with Kotobukiya mainly, but also with Bowen. As you can see, one of the faults or things that a lot of people dislike about the statue is here, is that in reality, because the way the position is, it's hard really to look. Really a lot of the features even in the face, but this has a great sculpt. This piece comes in different parts, and that's the thing, like I was telling you about the jigsaw. It comes with the sculpture, in this case the figure, the face, the head comes separate, the portrait, the cape comes separate, of course the base with the center comes together, but this little the thunder strikes, all this actually it comes separate in different little parts, so you have to put them all together, and really doesn't come with a instruction, so it's a little tricky to try to find the exact hole for the little for the thunder strikes, but it's the thunder rays, but it's pretty good. Let me show you the face. I won't tell you about the sculpt. I think this has a great sculpt. Comes right here. Let me take this. It works with a magnet. It goes into that hole right there. Very good. And here's a portrait. I like this face. Actually, I think it's one of the best portraits that I've seen of in this case Thor. I think it's better than the with the spinning hammer, the action version. I think this is better face. I even like it a lot better than the Kotobukiya. At the end of this video, I'm gonna actually I'm gonna have a comparison with both. But look at that; it's just amazing. The face, the expression is very cartoony, very reminiscent of the classic. To me, the very reminiscent of the classic Thor. That we have seen over the years. Very nice. I think he has some heft. This, I like the way these are actually, the wings and the helmet. They're sculpted, but they're really nice sculpted. Pretty good. Let me just put this aside for now, and then let me show you this. Then the cape is very heavy, comes separate, and actually comes with a peg in here that goes in, and there is a magnet on this side. Some people were saying that theirs were kind of wiggly, and actually mine is very firm, so I'm happy. But yes, if you kind of start moving, playing around, yeah, it can wiggle a little bit, but in reality it doesn't. Mine doesn't, so I don't see the wiggle that some people were talking about. It has some weight, and a lot of people are concerned about that weight over time will just probably have a problem and it's gonna fall off or something. Mostly you live in a place where there's a lot of humidity. That might work. That might be something that you will have to deal with. But honestly, it sits good at this time. It's very nice. Let me put this back together. The problem that I have is having such a beautiful face. The problem is that because, as you can see right there, it's hard to see it. You have to really go pretty much in a different angle just to look at all the expression. But I'll show you some of those display options later on. But I like that. I was thinking that it was very small, but looking at this, in reality, it has big arms, very big arms. I like the arms, the way they are, the muscle definition. Got some veins, very classical, but he has power. One thing I don't like about the Mjolnir, actually this one also, I forgot to mention this. This one comes separate. As you can see, goes with a magnet. This also has some weight, but what and it's very nice. I like everything. They design it right. The paint application is pretty good there too. The only thing I don't like is it doesn't have this description here or here about Thor. Description, whoever possesses, whoever holds this hammer, shall possess, the power of Thor. It doesn't have it there, so. I feel that was a missed part. It has no detail, lacks that, and it should be the center because the truth is this is the strike down version, so you should have that, and it goes there well. It doesn't wiggle or anything. Like I said, this don't have pegs. They just come out. Let me see. They come out very simply. You take them out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it goes down. I like what they did on this. The sculpture. Look at that. The figure, like I said, it has. Some people were saying that the legs are skinny, and actually in pictures they look skinny, but when you see it in person, he doesn't have really skinny legs. They are very long. Should be. He's a Scandinavian after all, and I like what they did with the boots and everything. It really has a lot of detail. The cape looks pretty awesome. I think I personally like this cape better than the action version. That has many folds, too many in my opinion. I think this one is better, but it's a matter of pretty much opinion. But looking at that, it's just fantastic, and looking at this base is amazing. One thing I was not keen about the base when I saw it in pictures in the beginning. I like when I saw the prototype, and I'm probably gonna have a picture of the prototype or the first pictures within the video so you can see them. I was not a fan of when they make this base this way, like a little going up a little bit. And to be honest, now that I see it in person, it's not as bad. As you can see, it seems like the ground is exploding as soon as he's hitting the ground. The closer he's getting, you can see the power. They did a great effect with this. Actually, with this resin, clear resin, it looks pretty decent. I was not really a fan of it at first, but it's there. Also, there is the option that if you don't want to display the rays, you can always take them out and just display them that way. So it's an option that you have. But I think overall, at the end, I like the way it does look. I think it looks more natural. It looks better. But you also have the option. The thing is this, a lot of this, it seems that the ground is exploding, so you see all these rocks, kind of flying in midair. They did a pretty good job. I was a little skeptical at first that it would not look as great. But actually they did a great job, and as you can see, it has the rocky terrain, everything there. I think they did such an amazing job. Randy did an amazing job, and his team of people, they really work it, and they did well. As you can see right there, here's the signature of Randy Bowen. Very nice. It's hidden there in pretty much on the base, because this is his work, so he signed it. Amazing, and there's different angles. You can play in different angles when you display, and I think the only bad thing about the whole thing is that because he's looking down, you're gonna have to find a display where you can see his face, because I think one of the most Most beautiful features of this version is the face. You know, his facial expression is magnificent. Is great, but not being able to look at it is going to be a problem. So you're going to have to probably display it above eyesight, or you know, at eyesight. You might be able to display it this way. You can look at it, but then you're not going to see his body. You might display here, but also there's the, you know, but also you're not going to see his body as well, the front of his body. So I think, you know, it's all about finding balance, because finding the right position to put it on, that's going to be a challenge for a lot of people. I think that's going to probably dissuade a lot of people to get this statue. But to be honest, those that are able to get it, and those that overlook those things, are going to be satisfied with this purchase. The paint application is superb. It's clean, you know, as it's supposed to be. I had no complaints about it. I think I like everything I see. I'm not gonna tell you it's perfect in certain areas. Some lines are not as perfect as others, but that's just normal. This is a hand-painted statue, so you know, overall the quality is what it's supposed to be for the price you're paying on this piece. So now let's just do a comparison, and I'll show you how it displays with other statues. Now, being the fact that this piece is an action pose, is strictly action pose. The best way to display this is with other pieces in an action pose or a semi-action pose. Here I'm using as an example, I use an Iron Man from the classic Avengers Kotobukiya line. I haven't reviewed this piece yet, but stay tuned. I'm gonna review it very soon. But as you can see right here, they're pretty much on the same scale. He is pretty much kneeling on the ground, of course. But and one of the problems that's with Bowen, that they tend to be smaller. So I always might fear that this will be smaller, but actually looking at the pieces, it has a very good size. So they display well. This is an option. You know, of course, it's just a battle. You know, we have seen battles between Thor and you know, Iron Man over the years. So this is just an option. I'm just giving you this as a reference. I think it works. I like the scale. I think it works well if you can create different battles with this piece. All right, here's another option. Now I'm using a Bowen piece and using the the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk variant version. As you can see, this is just mainly a museum pose, but also has some elements of action pose. You know, mainly with the face, and it looks good. You know, the best actually statue to display this with would be the SmackDown version, or even the retro version. There's a lot of options you can do. Actually, I have the SmackDown version. I don't have it here with me, so sadly for that. But probably in another video, I'm gonna show you. Probably another video, I'm gonna use other pieces. I'm gonna display with many pieces, so you are able to look at it. But looking at this is just, you know, it looked good. You know, the size wise is big. I really like it, you know, how it looks. This piece kind of displays well with those elements. So that's one thing that I recommend. Trying to create some type of diorama, because this piece works well with that. All right, now we have a comparison here with the Kotobukiya Hulk. Really, you can see, you know, there's a lot of things you can do. I'm just using this as examples for you. I think that it's a lot of potential with this piece. It's just a matter of playing around. It depends on what type of displays you like. A lot of people love museum poses, or some more static poses, or even some semi-action poses with some, I would say, museum pose quality. That way it's easier for them to display, because that's how they like it, that's how they prefer. But some other people like me, I love to play around with things. I love to move around. I love to take pictures of things. I love to create scenes that nobody else thought about. You know, I think this is an option. Yes, this is more like a classical version. This is a classic, of course, by the name, but not really as classical. But you know, it works well. If you're trying to pair them up, I think they're gonna do a great job together. Right, I seen on the forums. I think mainly on Statue Marvels. I've seen people posting their pictures. Some of them have comparing with other Thors. In this case, I've seen people pairing it with the action Thor from Bowen. I've seen him pairing with the classical museum pose from Bowen. That they are both magnificent pieces. I haven't seen one comparison with the Kotobukiya one that I own and that I like. And actually, I do own now. Just recently, I was surprised that I was trying to hold, but I was able to grab the action Thor. It cost me a pretty penny, but I will be able to very soon, so stay tuned, to compare. I'm gonna review that one very soon, but also I'm gonna have a showdown video like I did with the Hulks. With, in this case, not with the three of them, but probably just with that. I'm gonna have a comparison between the two, maybe the three. I'm not sure. So stay tuned for that. It's coming soon. But on the meanwhile, I can say that this Koto is a very nice looking piece. Honestly, I love the design of this. It looks fantastic. It's big, it's bulky, has some elements are much better designed on this than they are here. Some elements on this are better painted than here, like for example the boots and the lacing in the boots are better painted, are better created. The shading in his legs are better than the shading on the legs here. The blue is much better than this. There's a lot of good elements here compared to that. But this one has all the things. Like I love the color of the hair. It's more natural. I would say like it's a yellow that resembles more like the comic version versus that. Regardless of what it is, I think this is great. Of course, this has a much better base than that. But you can see, comparing them together, you can see that they really have pretty much the same size. And that was my fear, because a lot of people, they like me. What we do is that we combine both pieces, both companies, Bowen and Kotobukiya, and sometimes they're not in the same scale. Scale-wise, they're not in the same size. But in this case, they are perfectly fine. They're pretty much in the same scale. This might be a little small shorter in certain angles, but the truth is that technically is the same scale. Of course, this Kotobukiya Thor is large. It's very large. It's one of the largest Kotobukiya pieces, that they have created. That but it should be that way. Thor is a big man, so I think that this is a perfect representation. But as you can see, they look great. If you're really trying to have a Thor that type of display, you're a Thor fan, I think this two plus the action version will be the best on top. And if you want to add the museum Bowen regular museum pose, I think you have the best of both worlds. Well, all I can tell you is this: I think that Bowen did a great job with this piece. There's a lot of things you can do if you want to display them together. You want to add this to your collection. I think there's a great potential. Strictly, like I said before, this is mainly an action pose, and it should be treated that way. You want to put it together with other museum poses, you can, but it's not going to work as well. I think you have to go to the mainly with action pose or semi-action pose to work well. I'm a fan of Kotobukiya, so that's what I mainly have. But I know I've seen pictures, and I've seen people posting their pictures, and pairing this with the Captain America, action Captain America, or the action Iron Man, classic Iron Man from Bowen. It looks great. Also, displaying this with the action Thor that I will, like I said, I have on his way, and when he gets here, I will review that, and I will probably match it up with this one. We'll compare them side by side. I'm going to have a specific video for that. And I'm thinking that I'm going to do probably a video when I'm going to show you more examples, because I'm reviewing it. This video is mainly a review, but I'm going to have a video where I'm going to show you more examples of how to display this piece with other pieces. Like I said, mainly creating battle action or things like that. Things that really will fit much better for this piece. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to have those videos soon. I've already started working on some of them. So just to stay tuned for that. But looking at this, I'm really glad. Yes, there's some elements. Would I say that this is better than the action pose? I'm not gonna tell you in this video, so you have to stay tuned for the next videos. The video review of that piece, and also the showdown video. Both. I think they both have great elements. But of course, one is gonna win. It can only be a winner. It depends a lot on personal preference too, but we will talk about it on that video. But looking at this, I think this is a great purchase. It's a great buy. It's a great, nice looking piece. I was afraid that it was small, but now looking at it, it's not small. It has a great size, and it compares well with this Kotobukiya pieces that are larger than the Bowen. So that's a great thing. So that means that with the other Bowens, of course, you have a very good size, very nice statue. Yes, some people are not gonna like the fact that he's looking down, but I think it's plays part with this scene, what it's trying to convey, the story. He is battling. He is in control of the power. Some people would like to see him with a more upset face, but to me, I like the face the way it is. He doesn't have to be really upset. He is in control of his power. After all, he is the thunder god. But the thing is this. I think this is a a great purchase. So I recommend it to you. Right now you can find them for a very good price. It's very limited. It's around 1,500 pieces out there. So it's gonna sell out soon, and then it's gonna skyrocket. Right now you're looking at the other action pose that is like double the size of this one, but in numbers and the edition size, I think, if I'm not mistaken, but it's going for like $500 at least. So you can realize that this is the best time to get this one, and I will recommend it to you. And I really give good props. I give props to Randy Bowen for such an amazing piece. So thank you very much for watching this video. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you in the next review. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, my friends. Have a good day.